Have you ever heard a secret whispered on the wind? A promise of a place where time itself seems to slow, where the modern world's frantic rush fades into a gentle hum. I have. It led me far from the familiar, to the hidden corners of Asia, to lands where life moves at the pace of a river's current. These are not the destinations you see splashed across glossy magazines. They are quieter, more reserved, holding their beauty close like a treasured memory. The secret wasn't about a specific place, you see. It was about a different way of seeing the world, a different way of being within it, a way that asks you to simply stop, to breathe, and to listen. My journey began not with a map, but with a feeling, a deep yearning to find something real, something untouched by the relentless noise of our times. I sought out the countries that are often overlooked, the ones that offer a different kind of wealth. Here, richness is not measured in currency, but in the generosity of a shared meal or the warmth of a stranger's smile. The air itself feels different, thick with the scent of unfamiliar spices, damp earth, and the sweet perfume of blooming frangipani. It's a world that invites you in, but only if you are willing to leave your expectations behind and open your heart to its quiet magic. Following this whisper took me across continents, over oceans, and into the very heart of landscapes that felt almost prehistoric in their grandeur. I found myself standing before mountains that clawed at the clouds, their jagged peaks shrouded in mist as if guarding ancient mysteries. I wandered through forests so dense and green that sunlight struggled to pierce the canopy, dappling the forest floor in shifting patterns of light and shadow. This was a world alive, breathing, and humming with an energy that felt both powerful and profoundly peaceful. It was in these vast, silent spaces that the secret began to reveal itself. The true adventure wasn't in conquering these landscapes, but in surrendering to them. It was about letting the rhythm of the place seep into your bones, waking with the first call of a tropical bird, feeling the cool morning air on your skin, and watching the world slowly come to life. The people I met seemed to understand this rhythm instinctively. They moved with a grace and purpose that spoke of a deep connection to their surroundings. They were not separate from the mountains and rivers. They were a part of them, their lives interwoven with the changing seasons and the ancient cycles of nature. The day begins early in these hidden paradises, long before the sun has fully claimed the sky. I remember one morning in a village nestled beside a slow-moving river. The world was painted in shades of silver and grey, the air cool and damp. From the darkness, the first sounds emerged, a lone rooster crowing, the soft splash of an oar dipping into the water, and the distant melodic chime of a temple bell. These were not the jarring sounds of an alarm clock, but a gentle invitation to life. Simply a ordinary life, a beautiful and unscripted performance played out every single day. As the sun began to rise, it cast a magnificent golden light across the landscape. The mist clinging to the water's surface glowed, and the lush green of the rice paddies seemed to intensify, becoming almost impossibly vibrant. This was the hour of the morning market, beating heart of the community. I would wander through the bustling lanes until it reached. The air was a heady mix of aromas, the sharp scent of lemongrass, the earthy smell of freshly dug ginger, the sweet fragrance of ripe mangoes, and the savoury sizzle of street food being cooked over charcoal fires. Every sense was alive, every moment a discovery. The market was a tapestry of colours and textures. Piles of fiery red chilies sat next to mounds of deep purple mangosteens. Women in brightly colored sarongs or simple, elegant blouses bartered with gentle smiles. Their voices a melodic chatter that filled the air. They would hold up a piece of food for me to try, not as a sales tactic, but as a simple act of sharing. There was an incredible sense of community here, a web of connections that had been woven over generations. Everyone knew each other, sharing news and laughter as they went about their morning rituals. I learned so much just by watching. I saw the care with which a grandmother selected vegetables for the family meal, the pride a fisherman took in his morning's catch, and the playful teasing between friends. These were not grand gestures, but small, intimate moments that revealed the true character of the place. Life here was not about rushing from one task to the next. It was about taking the time to do things properly, to connect with others, and to find joy in the simple daily routines that give life its structure and its meaning. In my travels, I have often been struck by the different ways beauty is perceived around the world. In the West, we are so often bombarded with a single, narrow ideal. But here, in the quiet villages and bustling towns of Asia, I found a much broader and more profound understanding of beauty. It wasn't about conforming to a specific look. Instead, it was a light that shone from within. It was in the confident posture of a woman walking home from the fields, her face etched with the stories of a life lived under the sun. It was in the gentle, serene expression of an elder, her eyes holding a deep and quiet wisdom. I remember meeting a young woman who ran a small weaving cooperative. She spoke with a soft voice, but her hands moved with incredible skill and precision, transforming simple threads into intricate patterns. She never spoke of her appearance, but her pride in her work was evident in every gesture. Her confidence came not from a mirror, but from her craft, from her contribution to her family and her community. Her beauty was in her capability, her creativity, and the quiet dignity with which she carried herself. It was a powerful and humbling lesson for me. These encounters were never about me, a foreign observer, judging or assessing. They were about connection, about finding common ground. We would communicate through smiles and gestures, sharing a cup of tea, or simply sitting together in comfortable silence. In these moments, any differences in our backgrounds or cultures melted away. What remained was a simple, human connection. A friendship born not of shared language, but of shared humanity. It was a reminder that kindness and respect are universal languages that everyone understands. The greatest beauty I found was in this spirit of generosity and openness. Strangers would invite me into their homes to share a meal, eager to offer what little they had. Families would gather in the evenings, their laughter echoing through the open windows. These were not performances for a visitor. This was simply their way of life. They showed me that true confidence is not about being the loudest person in the room. It is about being comfortable in your own skin, secure in your place in the world, and open to sharing your life with others. The natural world is not just a backdrop in these places. It is an active participant in daily life. Rivers are the highways, the lifelines that connect villages and carry goods to market. I spent days traveling on slow boats, watching the scenery drift by in a dreamlike haze. Water buffalo wallowed in the shallows, children splashed and played near the banks, and fishermen cast their nets with a practiced, elegant motion. The river set the pace of life. It was a constant, calming presence, a reminder that all things are in a state of perpetual flow, and that there is a quiet strength in moving with the current. Then there is the rain. In the monsoon season, the rain is not just a drizzle, it is a force of nature. The skies darken, the wind picks up, and then the heavens open. The sound is immense, a deafening roar on the tin roofs, a relentless drumming that seems to shake the very earth. But instead of causing chaos, the rain brings a sense of cleansing and renewal. The world feels washed clean, the dust settles, and the colors of the landscape become even more saturated and intense. The air, once heavy and humid, becomes fresh and cool. People do not fight the rain, they adapt to it. Life doesn't stop, it simply changes its rhythm. The streets may empty for a short while as people take shelter under awnings and in cafes, but there is a sense of shared experience, a collective pause. I recall sitting in a small, open-fronted tea shop, watching the sheets of rain fall. Inside, people chatted quietly, sipped their warm drinks, and simply waited. There was no impatience, no frustration. It was an acceptance of nature's power, an understanding that this, too, was an essential part of the cycle of life. After the storm passes, a magical transformation occurs. The sun breaks through the clouds, and the wet world glistens, as if decorated with millions of tiny jewels. The scent of rain-soaked earth and vegetation fills the air, a smell of pure life and fertility. Small streams appear where there were none before, and the chorus of frogs begins. It is a time of rebirth. This daily dance between sun and rain, river and land, has shaped not only the physical environment, but also the character of the people, teaching them patience, resilience, and a deep appreciation for the cycles of the natural world. What then is the secret whispered on the wind? It is this: the world is full of wonder, but you will only find it if you are willing to slow down and look. It is not hidden in grand monuments or famous landmarks, but in the small, everyday moments that we so often overlook. It is in the taste of a perfectly ripe piece of fruit, the sound of laughter shared between friends, the feeling of the morning sun on your face, and the sight of a landscape that has remained unchanged for centuries. These are the true treasures that travel can offer us. These affordable corners of Asia taught me the value of simplicity. They showed me that a rich life has very little to do with material possessions. It is about community, connection, and a deep respect for the world around you. It is about finding beauty not in perfection, but in the authentic, the handmade, and the time-worn. A hand-carved wooden bowl, a piece of fabric woven with a traditional pattern, a simple meal cooked with love. These things hold a value that cannot be measured in money. They are imbued with story, with culture, and with the spirit of the people who made them. To travel this way is a gift. It allows you to step outside of your own life and see the world through another's eyes. It challenges your assumptions and broadens your perspective. You learn that there are countless ways to live a good and meaningful life. You discover that despite our different customs and languages, we are all connected by the same fundamental hopes and fears. We all seek love, we all cherish our families, and we all find joy in the simple beauty of the world. It is a profoundly humbling and unifying experience. So, the next time you feel the pull to explore, I urge you to seek out the quieter paths. Put away the checklist of sights to see, and instead, allow yourself to simply be. Sit in a local cafe and watch the world go by. Wander through a market without a map. Strike up a conversation with a stranger. By slowing down and looking deeper, you will discover the secrets that each place holds. And you may just find that the greatest discovery of all is a new way of seeing not only the world, but also yourself.